Segment 3, Gold and Black Live. I am all alone, but I couldn't be further from being all alone because a man that's changed the lives of not only all of our perspective, I say, but not just Purdue Nation, but really the entire world is on the phone with us, and that, of course, is Tyler Trent. Tyler, welcome to the show. We, as a Gold and Black intern, this was going to, we're glad to have you on, and it's an honor to have you part of our show.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and you've had an unbelievable outpouring, and I think do you get to the point where how do you adjust to all this media attention, and yet it has to be inspirational for you as it has been for the rest of us?
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It's really, really, really encouraging and humbling for sure. And I don't think you really ever get fully adjusted to it. But I will say one thing I'm just incredibly thankful for all of it, just because of how encouraging it has been for me and my family over the last couple of weeks.
I had a chance, and I've met your parents and spent some time talking to your dad. We're showing a picture right now of Dave Shondell with you up at the Center for Cancer Research Suite. You are really fortunate too, and you know this about what a great family you have around. But these pictures of your family with you, that also has to have made a huge difference in your life, and how that all has helped you deal with what you have to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely would not be where I am today without my family. They're my rock, and they're my everything. They keep me in line, and I'm just super thankful for everything that they have done for me, and just for them sticking by my side through the hard, through the thick and the thin.
And the thing that has always impressed me about you and our times together, but also just reading and stuff, is you've not sugarcoated any of this. You've always faced this and the difficulty of all this. But how big, when you see people respond to you, and the reason they respond to you, Tyler, I know you've been told this, but you need to know is because it's you. It's not just the situation. It's your strength and your ability to connect with others. I mean, I think that is so true. But how has that impacted you? In terms of every day that you're alive, that you've made a difference with all these people, but they have made a difference with you as well.
Well, it's just a complete answer to prayer in my mind.
Yeah.
Something one of my first prayers with my family when we first found out that I was diagnosed back in 2017 is that the Lord would just use whatever this reoccurrence of cancer, whatever He had planned with it, that it would just be used for His glory, and that there would be great things that came out of it. And I think just being able to see that happen in the last couple of weeks has just been super awesome and encouraging for me and my faith. And I also think vulnerability is really important. One thing that I think has been consistent with my message is the fact that everyone has a story. Mm-hmm. There just needs to be someone willing to listen to it. And so this I wouldn't be where I am today with my story. ESPN didn't listen to it. Or Mike Carmen, I wouldn't be where I am today without Mike Carmen listening to it, over a year ago at the Michigan game. So.
Yeah, no question. And certainly when this started out with Mike and the Journal and Courier and bringing some of this to light, you didn't ask for any of this, though. I mean, I think you're right. The way this, from a spiritual standpoint, has worked through you, but you have been able to. This message has resonated with so many people. Has there been a time over the last several weeks where you said, "Boy, this has been a lot," and you've had to deal with the ups and downs of all this? how have you kept your strength through all the even since the Ohio State game? I mean, the complete swamp of attention that an inundation of attention that you've received over this period of time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would just, I would continue to point back to just, there's only one way that I've been able to have strength at the time, and that's just God. Friday night going into that game on Saturday, I didn't think I was going to be able to make the game because I was, throwing up all day on Friday, not feeling well. And Saturday morning, it felt like, the Lord had literally just breathed life into me. And, I just felt like I was a renewed person and knew almost immediately as soon as I woke up that I was going to be able to make the game. And I was just super thankful for that. And so, there's really only one answer. My strength, there's only one answer in regards to where my strength comes from, and that's from the Lord. So,
how are you feeling today? And you're still in the plans to come to what will be sold out Ross-Ade Stadium tomorrow. Is that still in the plan for you?
It is, yeah. No, as long as everything stays its course this evening, I plan on being in Ross-Ade tomorrow at 3:30, cheering on the Boilermakers for sure.
And it's funny, it was when we start to talk about that, even when you and I were talking before the Ohio State game, we start talking football, that energy level comes up for you. And you're and that's part of the reason why we're very interested in you at Gold and Black, and you've done some writing for us, and we've appreciated that. You're into this, you know what you're talking about, which is a cool thing. So tell me about what, Purdue, Iowa tomorrow, Purdue a slight favorite. Boilermakers did not play very well last week. Or not well enough to win. What do you see tomorrow, some of the challenges for Purdue, and what are you hoping to see out of your Boilermakers?
Yeah, I think you're right. Purdue did not play well at all last week. And, Iowa is going to come in with a pretty fantastic defense. They have a pretty stout run defense and, proved that against Penn State last week. And so I don't expect Purdue really to get more than 100 yards on the rushing side of things. And so I think we're going to have to find other ways to win. And I think that's really going to have to come through the passing game. I think we're going to have to get out ahead on offense. And, Iowa is lackluster this year on offense. Typically they are. This year is not anything special for them, I don't think, when it comes to the offensive side of things. And so I think as long as we can get out ahead on offense and then our defense can maybe step up and hold them down on defense.
Well, I think you've got it all nailed in terms of what the Boilermakers have to do tomorrow. All right, in terms of your favorite players to watch, I would imagine, and I don't want to assume, but I'm going to guess that number 4, Rondale Moore, is. Who else do you really like to pay attention to that on this Purdue football team that might not be a run-of-the-mill person, but somebody or might not be somebody that's in the spotlight? Anybody else that you really pay a lot of attention to outside of the quarterback and David Blau and Rondale Moore? Who else out there?
No, I think you're right. I think you definitely need to pay attention to Moore. He's going to be, I think, a key piece tomorrow. Zico as well. Iowa has 2 freshman cornerbacks, and so I think if we can take advantage of those freshman cornerbacks, then we'll be in a good place.
And Purdue was in a good place last year, picking on an Iowa cornerback when Elijah Sindelar found Anthony Mahungu a couple times in that third quarter, I believe it was, to get the Boilermakers to that victory. You're in a situation, where obviously getting up here and feeling that energy in Ross-Ade Stadium in terms of that, that has been in your 2 years in college. You've seen a big change, and Jeff Brom has been great to watch and great to be around from a football coach standpoint. But tell our listeners and viewers about how much he's meant to you, because you have had some moments with him, and he's been around and has been a part of your life, and that is something that's unique in this world.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love Coach Brom and love the man that he is and the leader that he is. especially just in the example that he sets not only for the team but just for me as well as a man. I think I'm just really fortunate enough to have a close relationship with him, and I think he takes he's even taken time out of his day to come down and to say hello to my family and I, and to just spend time with us. And occasionally from time to time he'll shoot me a text and tell me that he's praying for me and thinking of me and my family. And just to have a head coach of a football team do that for you is something really, really special and very unique. Not something that you see every single day, that's for sure.
Purdue, yeah, no question. Purdue's captains and DJ Knox and of course David Blau. The Tom Rinaldi piece, which was one of the may win an Emmy if that's the right award that it will be up for, was just so beautifully done, and yet talk about a guy in David Blau that came through in the clutch of thinking the right thing to say at the right time, in my view, about saying how you are a Boilermaker, and you've used that throughout some of your conversations since. Tell me about that. How that's given you strength. Is the fact that the name Purdue Boilermaker, but also the strength of people like DJ Knox and David Blau that have called out what you have meant and how that's impacted you as well.
Yeah, no, it's really, really special, and in my mind, one of the highest honors that one can receive. Honestly, I mean, obviously, if you're at Purdue, you consider yourself a Purdue Boilermaker. But to have the starting quarterback of the football team actually say that as well, is just I don't know if there are words I can probably put to how much that really meant to me. And you could really tell in the piece that he that was hard for him, and it was something that he definitely had to take time to think through. And I think that's something that made it even more meaningful to me.
All right, and we're going to wrap this up. You've been gracious with your time. A couple of quick questions, just on, obviously been on with Scott Van Pelt. You've been on Dan Dockett. You've been, you've gotten footballs from Tom Brady. What has there been anything that you've received that's really surprised you in terms of have been something a little out of the ordinary from a fan or a friend or a major personality that you say, wow, that would they've all been special, I'm certain. But anything that you've received that's maybe been a little bit more unique from folks that have cared for you and wanted to reach out to you?
Yeah, one of the more special pieces that I've received over the last couple of weeks is Adam Vinatieri got a signed Drew Brees jersey for me.
Yeah.
And that was something just in conversation with him that I had expressed, that I look up to Drew as a leader as well, and he's someone in my life that I started to be more like. And just for him to take time out of his day to go and get the jersey of someone else autographed for me was really, really special and really meant a lot to me. So I think that speaks a lot of him and just who he is as a person as well. And then someone actually, Greg Doyle, wrote a piece in the Indy Star about me after the Ohio State game, and that article actually went national.
Yes.
And made it into the USA Today. And so someone had that USA Today edition framed and sent to me, which was really, really cool.
Neat. Yeah.
And so that will be hanging up on my wall forever.
Yeah, Greg does an unbelievable job of putting those. We all have been inspired by you, but that ability to take it and be able to put it into words and make it a story that is emotional and yet impactful. He's got a great skill with that. All right. Tomorrow, Purdue wins this game. If what happens, what do you see? What does Purdue outside? I know your sense of humor. You're going to say, well, Alan, they have to score more points. But I'm going to tell you what specifically do you see it will be a good sign. When you're watching tomorrow in Ross-Ade Stadium, you know Purdue's heading in the right direction if you see what?
I think if Purdue is able to score on some of their first couple opening drives, then I think they got a good chance of winning. I also think Purdue wins if we're able to get some turnovers and some solid stops on defense as well. Maybe some trick plays need to be thrown in order for those things to be accomplished. You never know with Jeff.
He hasn't asked you now for and you don't have to divulge this now. He hasn't asked you for a design of a trick play now, or maybe we better ask you that question in a couple of weeks, because my guess is you've got one up your sleeve.
No, he has not asked me. He has not asked me for any trick plays,
yeah.
And I don't know if I would be qualified enough in order to give one worthy of being called.
I don't know about that. All right, Tyler, I want to give you a minute or so to say, because you know what to tell Purdue Nation and all the people that not only listen and watch Gold and Black, but there are a lot of folks that are well outside of our sphere that are going to see this show. What's your message to them in terms of all they've meant to you?
I just like to thank everyone for their constant support and encouragement and kind words. Without that, that's one thing that definitely keeps me going on a daily basis. And just seeing the donations come in to the recently established Tyler Trent Cancer Research Endowment has just been so encouraging for my family and I. And so I'm just incredibly thankful for everyone who has bought a T-shirt and has donated.
Yes, and the T-shirts, I think, I don't know if you know, that I think they're going to be on sale tomorrow around the stadium or in places around the stadium, as I understand.
I do believe so, yes.
And, of course, there's a link on our site at goldandblack.com. We are going to keep that link up throughout the course of the weekend if you're interested in donating. The great thing about it is if you're for the Purdue Center for Cancer Research, is they also get the Walther match on that. And Tyler and I are board members, so we are brothers in that with the Purdue Center for Cancer Research. Extremely humbled, because my first time in being with Tyler was at a luncheon. I don't know if you remember, but out at the trails, and what a great talk you gave that day back in September, I think, of 2017. But Tyler, we love you first and foremost. Second, we are so excited that you're going to be in West Lafayette tomorrow, and hopefully for your sake you get a Purdue victory. I think that energy you brought him, I don't know an odds maker's standpoint, but I'm guessing it was at least 2 touchdowns against Ohio State. But we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow in Ross-Ade Stadium.
Yeah, I can't wait to be there. Thank you so much.
And one last thing, you're always, and I told your dad, when you want to pen a column on Monday or any time, we'll take dictation as well. If you've got something you want to say to our audience, you've got all the room that you ever want to do to do that, and we're thankful that you've been able to communicate with our group and all of Purdue fans in so many ways. Stay well, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow at Ross-Ade Stadium. And thanks again so much for your time.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, Tyler Trent, and we appreciate his time. He has been inundated with so many media requests, and if you're ever going to fight a battle, that's the guy you want to fight it with, and that's Tyler Trent. We want to thank our sponsors, XXX, On the Hill but on the Level, a Purdue tradition since 1929. John Basham, the good folks at Basham Reynolds. Hilton Garden Inn, when tomorrow's a big day, stay at HDI tonight. State Farm agent Trent Johnson at trentismyagent.com. And make sure, if you're going to make a donate to anything, think about the Tyler Trent Research Endowment. This person has made such a difference. And remember that great research is being done at the place that Tyler is a graduate of, and that, of course, is Purdue University. So your donation will make a big difference. And Tyler will continue to inspire us as the days and time moves forward. All right, we'll have a great rest of the day, everybody. Thank our sponsors. Thank Gordon. And, of course, Steve in the back room, and Brad for helping put all this together, Chris Collar as well. We look forward to you next week. We'll be on prior to the Minnesota game. Matt will be on his way to Minneapolis. We'll get him in via phone. Brian will be on. and we'll have a couple guests lined up. We look forward to doing that, and there'll be a lot to talk about on Gold and Black Live. Have a great week, everybody.